Welcome to another video. We are at home, back in my shed. It is about 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday. I got home at 3 a.m. this morning and I had work today, and I'm now getting some time to sit down and film this intro for you guys. It was an absolutely insane week. It was pretty much non-stop. It would have to be up there for one of the best trips I've ever been on. First time I've ever been international, and yeah, it definitely won't be the last. Already got some more stuff in the works since returning, so that's pretty cool. But we'll get straight into the video. On the way to the airport, we stopped off, grabbed some food, and went and got ourselves ready to leave for New Zealand. I didn't really know what to expect from this trip. I was just there for the opportunity, the good times and the memories. So we jumped on the plane and we were off to New Zealand. First things first, we touched down in New Zealand, and Guy's mum was meeting us at the airport to pick us up and drive us the 2 hours back to Rotorua. We arrived after dinner, and this was our first time meeting Nightride boys, so we just had a chill night, hung out, got to know the guys and prepared for the next morning. So the next morning we headed straight down to Guy's shop, and we seen the R32 that Mike was going to be driving in competition for the first time. So we didn't really know what to expect. We knew the car had a blown turbo. Guy was able to test the car for one lap at Hampton Downs a couple days before we arrived, and the car blew the Chinese turbo, and it also was leaving heavy grooves in the tyres from the guards rubbing. So me and Mike just jumped straight on working on the car. We took the over fenders off, cut the guards, and clearanced them. That was quite easy, got that all sorted. Once we were loaded up, we jumped on the road and headed down to the racetrack. And unloaded the cars into the garage. That's where Mac, who's the owner of the R32 Skyline, was able to bring us a replacement Chinese turbo. So we had been working all day on the R32. We're about to get the car started for the first time. How do we start this thing? Well, that's wipers. Fan doesn't need to be on. Cool. All right, you ready? Yeah. So we were starting the car for the first time, and the car wouldn't start, so we had to push it out of the garage and use jumper leads to start the car. Now, at this point in time, we just thought it was a flat battery, but that ended up not being the case. You know, it's almost 6 o'clock now, and Mike's competing in the car tomorrow, and we actually haven't heard the car run yet. So now the Nightride boys decided that it would be funny. Boogie and Bozo especially decided that they were going to play a little trick on me. You f***er! So the Nightride boys just dogged me, and when I started up the car, they all started saying, "Hey!" And we're tapping the spanner on the fucking body of the car. It got me good. When I heard that noise, my gut just dropped. I was like, oh no, like we've just got this absolute lemon. We put a new turbo on it, and it's rod knocked on us. But anyway, so that was a fun way to end the Arvo at the track. So Friday morning comes around, we wake up, we're ready to rock. We head down to the track, but Mike got comfortable in the car really quick, which is awesome. We got out there and he threw some decent laps down and managed to put down a decent qualifying score. I can't remember if he qualified, I think he qualified 17th from memory, which is pretty good in an unknown car, and every time Mike drives, his driving's just getting better and better. Yeah, we did that. We watched qualifying for the rest of the day. Guy really put on a really good event, and it was just enjoyable to actually just be there. Leading into Sunday, I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was a car show, a bit of track cruise, a bit of drifting, just a bit of everything. Just finished my breakfast and was chilling, and Scott owns this glorious MX5 or Miata for you overseas guys with a 13B rotary. He comes up to me and goes, you want to take it out on track for a cruise? Of course I said yes, because when else do you get that kind of opportunity to drive something like this?
Oh, that sounds so good.
Sounds so nice. After that, my whole weekend was made. That was one of the funnest cars I've ever driven. The noises it makes, the bangs and the pops, and it handled like a go-kart. It felt really good, just cruising around, racing people. It's such a really good vibe for an event. It's very similar to our power cruise that we have over here in Australia. There was less Commodores than Falcons, if I'm being honest. I think there might have been one, if there was any. Then after that, they swapped over from the track cruising session, they swapped over to roll racing. So round robin of roll racing. Mike was going to take the 32 out, and Jordan Grant offered me this beautiful S14 to take out for a spin. I've just been offered to drive a 2J S14, 600 horsepower, and we're going out to do some roll racing. So
let's go!
Nothing like I've ever driven before. I have a feeling it's a wise fab in the front, electric power steering, 600 horsepower, 4-speed dog box, winter's quick change, and yeah, it's just a wild car, and again, just built very well. And he basically threw me into the car and told me start button, power steering button, and put it in second and roll on the throttle, and yeah, you'll be sweet. So I go out, first roll race, lined up against a S14, I think it was, and we're cruising up to the start line. I wasn't able to get any clips. I didn't bring a GoPro with me or anything like that. I had nowhere to mount my phone, so I wasn't able to get any clips of the roll racing, but I did grab this sound clip from one of the runs. I was up against Mike for the first battle, and his R32 is just so low power, it just gripped the whole way. It just sequential straight through the gears. This thing, and just spins every single gear. I got off it, got back on it, and would just spin so easily. Second, third, fourth, just blazing the tyres on it. But it was so much fun, and it's an absolute crazy car, but yeah. Now I'm going against this car that I drove earlier, so 2-rotor, MX5, so it should be sick. I think Jordan let the tyres down to 10 psi, and it still just wanted to fry the tyres off it. The thing was an absolute weapon, and yeah, shout out Jordan, because that was amazing experience, and I don't think it's still probably the most crazy pro car that I've ever driven, which is awesome. And now I need a dog box and winter's quick change, so super appreciative of that opportunity. Again, that I thought my weekend couldn't get any better at this point, and so yeah, I took Steph's car out for some laps in the next crew session. Me and Boogie went out for a few laps in that. That was the car Boogie was driving during comp, so we headed out and we thought we'd just race some people and have a good time, basically. Coming into the afternoon, the drifting was to begin. Unfortunately, I didn't get a drive. It was getting towards the end of the day. We're running out of time, and at the same time, all of Guy's cars, out of 6 cars, they had absolute minimum issues, and they made it through 3 days of abuse. And to be fair, I'm not even mad that I didn't drive it, because I don't want to be that guy that goes and breaks something last minute, because no one wants to, it's always a downer if something breaks. But I went out for some laps with Mike in the R32, get a feel for that car, and it's one hell of a car. The sequential dog box makes a world of difference in how the torque's delivered. And yeah, so here's some laps there. From there, this was going to be our last night in New Zealand, so we packed up from the racetrack and we headed back to Guy's place. When we got back to Guy's, we jumped in the jacuzzi and just enjoyed what was coming to an end of an amazing trip. The next morning, we headed down and did a tour at Hobbiton. If you don't know what that is, that's where they filmed The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy. And so that was pretty cool, interesting to see. I'm not a big Hobbit fan, but I have seen The Lord of the Rings a very long time ago, but it was fun nonetheless, hanging out with the Nightride boys again. And this is where we said our goodbyes and we headed off to the airport. So Guy dropped us back to the airport, thanks Guy, and we started our trip home. Alright, so we just got back to Mike's house. I'm dropping Mike off. It's midnight. I'm heading home.
I'm so tired.
2.5 hours to drive.
I'm pretty sure we slept like 4 hours every night.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
that
every
long?
night we just stayed up because we didn't waste time. We wanted to hang out with people.
Well, we were like, oh, we'll go to bed early tonight. And then all of a sudden it will be 1 a.m. and we've all just been sitting at the table talking about life stories. It was
Pretty
so
much.
good.
And knowing that we had to get up at 7 o'clock every day. But I wouldn't change a thing. So that was good.
So good.
Awesome trip.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite. Keen to do some more trips.
Oh, we're going to South Australia in 3 days, so.
Yeah, it doesn't stop here. Mike's gonna go fix his car.
Yep.
I'm gonna go on a secret holiday.
Wow.
And
Subscribe to Nathan.
yes, please do. I can't afford to keep going to all these places that Mike makes me go. And he doesn't pay me very
I
much.
don't pay him at all because.
He pays me in love. Alright, I gotta go.
Bye.
On the road. Bye. It's almost 3 a.m. and I'm finally home. I don't even know where to start. Absolute amazing weekend. Big thanks to Guy and Steph and all the Choice Events crew for running what was an amazing event that seemed to have just run flawlessly. All the people that lent me out their cars, Jordan, Scott, Steph, everyone. Thanks to the Nightride boys for making us feel welcome, hanging out with us, good times. Shout out to Jason for letting me borrow your car to get to the airport. But most importantly, big thanks to Mike. I wouldn't be doing any of this without him. I wouldn't even be doing YouTube if it wasn't for him. But for now, I got 2 days of work. Beck doesn't know it, but we're going away for our second time ever without the kids for her birthday. As soon as we get back from that, I'm going straight to South Australia with Mike, Danny, Marcus, Cam, all the boys from Victoria. Catch up with all the South Australia guys. We're going to be doing round 2 of the Drifting SA series. Got practice on the Saturday. We're heading out on the Friday. Got practice on the Saturday. Comp on the Sunday, and we'll come back on the Monday. Then we'll be straight back into the Turbo M43 build. And I'd like to extend a thanks to Beck, holding down the fort, looking after the family, making sure that all this is possible. I can go away, do the things that I love. We managed to do it all. Shout out to all my mates that helped me out. And yeah, honestly, I'm wrecked. It has been such a big weekend, and it's not slowing down. So it's cold, I want to go to bed, and I'll see you guys soon. So like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.